In a small village called Roccaporena, nestled in the mountains of Umbria, Italy, a gentle and devout child was born around 1381. She was named Margherita, but the world would come to know her as Saint Rita of Cascia. Her parents, Antonio and Amata, were peacemakers in their troubled region and raised Rita in the ways of gentle forgiveness and unwavering faith. From her earliest years, Rita longed to live a life devoted wholly to God, dreaming of entering the Augustinian convent in Cascia. However, abiding by her parents' wishes, at around 12 years old she was promised in marriage to Paolo Mancini, a man whose temper and involvement in local feuds brought Rita much suffering. Yet Rita met hardship with patience, returning bitterness with persistent kindness. Over time, her steadfast example softened Paolo's heart, and peace slowly settled into their home. The couple was blessed with 2 sons, whom Rita loved dearly. But joy was short-lived. Paolo's old grievances caught up with him, and one day, he was ambushed and murdered. Angry and devastated, Rita's sons sought vengeance, but Rita, refusing to let hatred take root, pleaded to God to change their hearts. Tradition holds that, fearing their souls might be lost to the violence, she prayed God would rather take them before they could commit such a grave sin. Within a year, both sons died of illness, but at peace and reconciled with God. Left alone, Rita sought solace in her first desire, the monastery. The sisters at Cascia, however, were reluctant to accept her, fearful that the vendettas connected to her family might spill into the sacred enclosure. Rita prayed and persisted, and a legend tells that one night, Saints John the Baptist, Augustine, and Nicholas miraculously opened the convent doors for her. Inside the monastery, Rita embraced penance, prayer, and the works of charity with a passionate and humble heart. She became known for her wisdom and her gentleness in settling disputes among feuding families. Years passed in faithful service. In her later life, Rita received a remarkable grace. One day, as she prayed before a crucifix, a thorn mysteriously yet visibly pierced her forehead, as though she shared in Christ's crown of suffering. For the last years of her life, she bore this wound and the pain that came with it, offering it for the salvation of souls. Near the end of her life, bedridden and visited by nuns and townsfolk who sought her counsel, Rita asked for a rose from her childhood garden in midwinter. Though snow covered the fields, a relation found a solitary red rose blooming, which was brought to the dying nun, a sign of God's abiding love. Rita died peacefully in May 1457. At her death, many miracles were reported. Her body, exposed for days, gave off the scent of flowers and remained incorrupt. Devotion to her grew swiftly, with many faithful finding solace in her example and her intercession, especially those enduring hardship or seemingly impossible causes. Saint Rita's life was a tapestry woven with suffering and compassion, hardship and supernatural consolation. She became known as the Saint of the Impossible. Lesson: Saint Rita's story teaches that patience in suffering, forgiveness, and trust in God can transform families, communities, and even impossible situations. With God, all things are possible.